Okay, today is November the 16th, 2015. We're watching the infrared loop for the Northeast Pacific, and we can see a moisture field moving into Oregon and Washington. This is actually the jet stream. This should be diving down through California and making a U-turn and following right back up into this low pressure that's spinning. This weather system right here moved through California yesterday, dropping about maybe 5/100ths of an inch of rain yesterday. Okay, so we can see that there is an area that has been a channel that's been man-made right here. We'll see this on the water vapor loop next, and also right through here. And now what's happening here is that this low pressure is being isolated purposely so that this moisture field here will not feed into it, and also this moisture field right here. So that is being blocked. Let's go look at the water vapor loop right now. And we can see that right here. We have a channel of dry air that's created with a radar, phased array, highly directional radar right here. Same thing over here. We've got a large area of high pressure all through here. But what's happening right here is that we've got a channel that is following this storm, amazingly, and plowing a channel right through here. And that is attempting to keep all this moisture from feeding that storm. And same thing here. We've got that dry channel here, and that is keeping this flow from getting mixed into that core. And also, the jet stream is interrupted as this flow should be turning down and winding its way back. So something is screwy here. We have a jet stream that's indicating this flow here and doing a U-turn, but on the other hand, what's actually happening is that they're having to build a channel here to prevent this flow just from moving right into that low pressure. All right, so this is actually what's happening here. The jet stream map could be inaccurate a little bit, so let's just follow what's happening here. We have a storm right here. This has a transmitter on it. We can see all the dry air right on that core, and this is slowly moving its way towards the west coast. Let's look at some of these other maps. We've got a disturbance right down here with a 10% chance of hurricane formation in 3 days. We'll take a look at that on the hurricane map. Got some thunderstorm development down here. And they are hitting some of these storms. Earlier today we saw some blast patterns similar to what we're seeing right here. So they are going to keep these in check. It will be interesting to see if we have another hurricane this late in the year. Okay, let's look at the surface analysis map, and we can see that area of high pressure right here, 1033 millibars stationary, and we have this storm that's located just northwest of Hawaii. That's this thing here, identified as a storm. And then we have another gale up here, and another system of low pressure up here. But this is the main thing we're going to be keeping an eye on. This will probably have to maintain, this high pressure here will have to be stationary for a while because of this problem. Okay, got a cold front. That's a very large system. Let's go take another look at that. The low is forecast to move sort of in a westerly, or rather an easterly direction. But with all this high pressure, this system will move up and probably over in a different trek. Okay, let's take a look at this is the western U.S. water vapor loop, and we can get a better view of what's actually happening. There's a huge moisture field moving in down through Washington and Oregon, and it's all being disrupted by this area of man-made high pressure. This is a HAARP transmitter applying heat, and it's all the way into this channel here. It's boring a channel all through here, and look at what the effect is on this core over New Mexico. On the news tonight, there was a report, a special report on New Mexico and what's actually happening down there. The crazy weather they're having, wild, crazy weather, and we can see why. You have the core of this storm is right over New Mexico, and yet they're pumping warm air right here, right next to that low pressure. So you've got high pressure right next to low pressure, and that's going to create a lot of wind and a lot of crazy weather. So we can see that violent activity right here. So that they were reporting that on the news, along with the news that we're going to have more wind. And of course, the reason we're having wind is because we've got this low here spinning counterclockwise, and we have a clockwise descending warm air from that man-made HAARP transmitter right here, which is blocking all of this weather over here, and it's also interrupting the jet stream flow, which we can see happening here. All of this is evaporating as it moves into the country. So let's go look at that jet stream once again, and we can see what they did forecast. This is supposed to be flowing down and U-turning back up that way, but it's not really quite working out that way. All right, let's go look at this is the infrared loop for the western U.S. And things look pretty dry, relatively speaking, right here. There's a lot of wild weather here, and we have that low pressure spinning. We've got that channel right here, and we've got a channel all through here. So they have isolated the storm system from this moisture field and this moisture field here coming out of the tropics. And we can see that once again on the big map here. We have a lot of moisture from this area of thunderstorms feeding up through the Texas area, and they're trying to keep this all separated from what's happening right here. All right. Okay, so the National Hurricane Center map is right here, and it shows an area of disturbance rather. A large area of disturbed weather is located about 750 miles south of the southern tip of Baja. Okay, so some gradual development is possible, but we'll keep an eye on this. But what they're going to probably do is just blow those apart. They'll hit them with a transmitter. We can already see evidence of a blast pattern right along this flank of those thunderstorms. Right here we can see something going on there. So we'll keep an eye on what happens. For them, it's probably easier just to blow these apart and deal with what's going on up on the up here. So we'll just keep an eye on all that. Let's go look at the this is the surface, or rather the sea level pressure map, just showing that big area of high pressure dominating the entire East Pacific. We've got a low over here. That's that storm, and that storm will have no choice but to go over the top of this high, because they're going to keep that pinned right here until this thing is brought under control with another separate HAARP transmitter. Let's go look at that again. Just real quick, we can see that this they're doing everything they can right here. They've got a transmitter all the way around that core, and so they're working on that. Okay, let's go back again to the other map. Okay, that's the sea level. All right, we have a low indicated here. That's where that big spinning low, that storm is that just came through California, brought us a tablespoon of rain, thanks to the HAARP transmitters. Okay, here's the 500 millibar. Shows that high pressure right here. You can see the low, and we have another low here, and this ridge here will keep this thing up and over, and probably it'll run it out over Canada or something. We'll have to wait and see what they do next. Okay, let's look at the 300 millibar, and this is a upper, very strong low pressure. This goes from ground level all the way up to 30,000 feet and probably beyond. And same with this one here. Okay, so that's the situation, and let's look at the wave analysis. We have 19-foot swells moving into Southern California. We've got 20-foot swells in near Washington and Oregon. Okay. All right, so that's basically it for tonight. Let me give you some stats right now. Currently, the barometric pressure is 30.05 in Los Angeles. We got a dew point of 18.6 degrees Fahrenheit. The relative humidity is 28.7%, 28.7. and then we have a temperature of 48.9 degrees, which is actually raised about 6 degrees in the last hour. About an hour and a half ago, around 10 o'clock p.m., it was about 43 degrees, and then the winds started kicking up, and the relative humidity dropped from 40% down to 28.7% currently right now at 11:30 p.m. Okay, so the conditions have changed, and that is because we have a high right here that is walling up right next to that low. So this is like a gear effect. You got one gear spinning in counterclockwise fashion. You have the other gear, high pressure, spinning this way, and you get a Venturi effect where you have air, high pressure air shooting through that. And so LA is right over here, and we're getting a shotgun with wind from having high pressure right next to low pressure. And that's also why New Mexico is having a problem right now. They have a lot of wild weather. And if you're on the internet, check out New Mexico. There's a lot of crazy weather going on, and that is because of right here. They're forcing, this is a HAARP transmitter right here, just boring a hole right into the core of this storm right here. And that is exactly what they're doing. We can see that very clearly. And they're trying to keep that channel opened up. And they're going right into the core of that thing, and they're just causing all kinds of trouble weather-wise. So that's basically it. We'll do another update tomorrow. All right.